My dear brothers and sisters, my name is Mufti Menk, and today I want to share with you the keys to transforming your life through the power of dua, patience, trust, and hope. Together, we will explore how to trust Allah fully, even in silence, how to make dua with a sincere heart, and how to recognize the best moments to pray as divine opportunities. We will learn the strength that patience brings, the importance of connecting emotionally with every prayer, and why we must never lose hope in Allah's mercy. These principles are timeless, they are practical, and they are life-changing. So, open your heart, listen with intention, and let your soul be inspired by Allah's guidance. If you're ready to transform your connection with Allah and strengthen your faith, subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications, and join our journey of hope, mercy, and divine connection. Sometimes, we stand in the quiet moments of our lives, wondering why our prayers have not yet been answered. We may ask, why is my heart restless? Why have my dreams not yet come true? In these moments, the soul aches for certainty, and yet, it is in the stillness of silence that the true connection with Allah begins to unfold. Trusting Allah fully, even when the world seems unyielding, is not a passive act. It is a bold surrender, a conscious recognition that the one who created the heavens and the earth knows what is best for us, even when we cannot see it ourselves. When the heart truly surrenders, it finds a profound peace that surpasses all understanding, a sanctuary where fear and doubt cannot reach. This trust is not born from convenience or fleeting hope. It grows from the deep soil of patience and reflection, watered by the recognition that Allah's wisdom is infinite and His mercy boundless. There is a lesson in every delay. The Quran reminds us that Allah is closer to us than our jugular vein, that He sees what we cannot see and hears what we cannot express. When our prayers are delayed, it is not because Allah is unaware of our needs, but because He understands the best timing, the perfect moment when our hearts, our circumstances, and our lives are ready to receive what we seek. Imagine a gardener planting seeds. He does not demand them to bloom overnight. He waters them, tends them, and patiently waits for the season to bring the fruits. So too, Allah nurtures the seeds of our prayers in ways we cannot witness, shaping them with wisdom, preparing them for the exact moment when their fulfillment will benefit us the most. It is in this silent trust that strength is forged. When we place our hearts fully in Allah's hands, we are no longer dependent on the fleeting assurances of the world. Our confidence becomes unshakable because it is rooted in the eternal, not the temporary. Each prayer uttered, each whisper of hope lifted in the quiet of our hearts, carries weight beyond measure, and though answers may not come immediately, the very act of turning to Allah strengthens our spirit. We learn humility, patience, and resilience, realizing that our value is not measured by immediate results, but by the depth of our faith and the sincerity of our connection with our Creator. Many times, we are tempted to question Allah's wisdom. We compare our timelines to others, we measure our progress against what we see in the world, and we forget that every soul has a unique path. The trials, the waiting, the periods of uncertainty, all of these are part of a divine orchestration designed to guide us closer to Him. Each difficulty softens the heart, refines the spirit, and deepens our dependence on Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that patience is light, and in this light, we see clearly that every delay has purpose, every moment of silence carries meaning, and every test is a step towards spiritual growth. To trust Allah fully is to release the tight grip of worry and doubt. It is to recognize that our understanding is limited, but His is infinite. Even when the heart is heavy, even when circumstances seem bleak, we speak to Allah with hope, not fear. We share our innermost desires, our unspoken worries, and our silent dreams, believing that He listens with more compassion than we can imagine, and in this trust there is a powerful transformation. The heart, once anxious and restless, becomes calm. The mind, once clouded by uncertainty, finds clarity. The soul, once burdened by fear, discovers serenity. This is the sanctuary that grows from unwavering trust, a space where Allah's mercy flows freely, and the light of faith illuminates every corner of our being. Consider the stories of those in the Quran who exemplified trust in Allah despite overwhelming challenges. Prophet Ayyub endured immense suffering, yet he never lost hope or turned away from Allah. His patience and unwavering faith became a beacon of divine connection, showing us that trust is most profound when circumstances test our resolve. Prophet Yusuf faced betrayal, false accusations, and years of imprisonment, yet his trust in Allah never wavered, and when his prayers were finally answered, the fruits of his steadfast patience were beyond anything he could have imagined. Their lives remind us that trust is not passive. It is a dynamic strength that carries us through darkness and positions us to receive Allah's mercy in ways we cannot predict. The journey of trust often begins with small steps. It may start with acknowledging that Allah's plan is greater than our desires, even when our heart longs for immediate results. It may grow through consistent dua, heartfelt reflection, and turning away from despair. Each time we choose hope over doubt, patience over frustration, we build a deeper connection with our Creator, and slowly, imperceptibly at first, the heart aligns with the wisdom of the divine, finding solace in the rhythm of faith. Every tear, every whisper, every moment of longing becomes a thread weaving the tapestry of trust, strengthening us to receive what is meant for us at the perfect time. Trusting Allah fully is also an act of courage. It is daring to believe that no matter how lost we feel, no matter how uncertain the path appears, we are never alone. His guidance surrounds us, His mercy envelopes us, and His wisdom directs us toward what is best. When we surrender in this way, we release the burden of trying to control outcomes that are beyond our capacity. We learn to live fully in each moment, to give our best effort, and to place the rest in Allah's hands, confident that His timing is flawless. The serenity that comes from this trust allows us to face life's challenges with courage, knowing that each trial is temporary and each hardship carries a lesson. And so, even in the silence, even when answers seem distant, trust becomes our anchor. It is the light that steadies us in the darkest nights, the hand that lifts us when we falter, and the whisper of hope that echoes in our hearts. The more we practice this trust, the more we understand that life's delays are not denials, and life's challenges are not punishments. They are instruments of divine wisdom, shaping our hearts, refining our faith, and preparing us for the blessings that Allah has already written in our destiny. Remember that trust is not blind, it is a conscious, heartfelt choice. It is choosing to believe in Allah's mercy when the heart is heavy, to place our worries in His hands when the mind races, and to remain steadfast in prayer when the world offers no immediate answers. In doing so, we find that the very act of trust transforms us, making us stronger, calmer, and more connected to the One who holds all power and all knowledge. Never underestimate the power of trusting Allah fully, even in silence. The moments of waiting, the periods of uncertainty, and the times of longing are not wasted. They are sacred opportunities for the heart to grow, for faith to deepen, and for the soul to experience the profound serenity that comes only from placing absolute trust in Allah. When the heart surrenders, the spirit rises, and even the smallest whispers of prayer are met with the boundless mercy of the Almighty. And so, in every moment of doubt, in every pause of waiting, in every silence of the soul, remember that trust in Allah is your sanctuary, your refuge, and your guiding light. And it is in this trust that true peace and divine fulfillment are found. There is a quiet power in sincerity, a force that moves the unseen and reaches the heart of Allah directly. When we approach Him with words that are rehearsed, hollow, or performed merely out of routine, they carry little weight. The power of dua is not in its eloquence, its length, or its display to others, but in the purity of the heart that utters it. Every whisper, every sigh, every tear that comes from a place of true longing is heard, and it resonates far beyond the limits of human understanding. Allah knows what lies hidden in the heart. He sees the unspoken thoughts, the silent desires, and the private struggles that no one else can perceive. When we speak to Him sincerely, we are not just asking. We are opening our hearts, laying bare our souls, and entering into an intimate conversation with the Creator who loves and understands us more than anyone ever could. A sincere heart does not measure what it will receive. It does not demand immediate results or expect recognition. It simply turns to Allah, trusting Him and placing everything within His hands. When we pray with sincerity, we acknowledge our dependence on Him and our understanding of our own limitations. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reminded us that Allah is close to those who call upon Him, that He responds to every call, and that the manner in which we seek Him, honest, humble, and sincere, carries the greatest significance. To speak from the heart is to enter a sacred space where nothing else matters, not the hour, not the place, not the eyes of others, but the connection between the soul and its Lord. Think of the times when you have felt truly heard, not by another human, but by someone who knew you completely. How comforting it feels when someone sees you fully and responds with understanding. This is the essence of sincere dua. When we remove pretense and speak openly to Allah, we create a bridge between our inner world and the divine. Every longing becomes a seed planted in fertile soil, every heartfelt plea a call that moves with purpose toward its source. In these moments, we are not performing a ritual, we are engaging in the deepest form of communication, and in this intimacy, the heart begins to transform. Sincerity also demands honesty with ourselves. Often, we mask our fears, our failures, or our deepest desires, even in prayer. We might ask for blessings but harbor doubts, or seek guidance but hold back parts of our heart. A sincere heart lays everything bare without fear of judgment. It whispers the unspoken prayers, cries over the hidden pains, and dares to hope in Allah's mercy beyond what reason can justify. In this openness, we cultivate a trust so profound that even when the answer seems delayed or different from what we envisioned, we remain steadfast, confident that Allah knows best. Our sincerity becomes both a shield and a key, a shield against despair and a key to the doors of mercy that only Allah can open. There is also a rhythm to sincere dua, a flow that arises naturally when the heart is engaged. It is not a mechanical recitation of words. It is an unfolding of feelings, an expression of longing that pours forth as naturally as breath. The Quran reminds us that when a servant calls upon Him, He responds, even if the call is a whisper from a broken heart. This responsiveness is not contingent on how much we say, but on the depth of sincerity with which we say it. A short, heartfelt plea, uttered with humility and devotion, can move the heavens more than volumes of empty words. It is the quality, not the quantity, that matters, the depth, not the surface, the authenticity, not the form. To make dua with a sincere heart is to live with awareness. It is to cultivate a consciousness that every thought, every desire, and every action can be offered to Allah with honesty. When the heart is sincere, the act of turning to Allah becomes a source of strength, not a mere habit. We learn to seek Him in solitude, in quiet reflection, and in the ordinary moments of our day. Our words become prayers in thought, our intentions become whispered du'as, and our actions, when done with awareness, reflect the purity of our hearts. In this way, sincerity extends beyond the moment of spoken prayer into the very rhythm of our lives. Sincerity also invites patience and resilience. Sometimes, even when we pour our hearts out, the response we desire is not immediate. The delay tests us, but it also strengthens the soul. It teaches us to remain steadfast, to return to Allah again and again with the same honesty and openness, and to cultivate hope even when circumstances seem against us. Each act of sincere dua builds a relationship that transcends words. It becomes a bond between the Creator and His servant, a connection that does not weaken in the face of silence, but grows stronger, deeper, and more profound. Feel the presence of Allah in every plea. When you whisper your desires from the depths of your heart, imagine Him near, attentive, and compassionate. Sense the mercy surrounding you, the understanding embracing you, and the love that never fails. This presence transforms simple words into powerful expressions of faith. The heart that prays sincerely is a heart that has tasted the closeness of Allah, a heart that knows its dependence and delights in the intimacy of divine attention. It is this presence that brings comfort, clarity, and the certainty that nothing uttered in sincerity is ever wasted. Sincerity in dua also calls for humility. We do not approach Allah with arrogance or entitlement, but with the recognition that every blessing, every guidance, and every answered prayer is from Him alone. We ask not as if we command, but as those who hope, who trust, and who submit entirely to His will. Humility magnifies the beauty of sincere prayer because it aligns our desires with our understanding of His infinite wisdom. In the sacred balance of hope and submission, our hearts find peace, and our words gain weight beyond what we could ever measure. Ultimately, making dua with a sincere heart is an invitation to transformation. It is a process that refines the soul, aligns the spirit with the divine, and elevates the believer beyond the ordinary anxieties of life. Each whispered prayer, each tearful call, each honest confession becomes a thread in the tapestry of divine connection, weaving a life imbued with faith, trust, and unshakable hope. It is the sincerity of the heart that turns ordinary supplication into a force capable of moving destiny, opening doors, and bringing the mercy of Allah into every corner of our lives. And so, speak from your heart. Whisper your deepest desires. Cry, hope, and surrender, knowing that your words, rooted in sincerity, travel beyond what you can see, reaching the one who knows, loves, and responds. In every plea, every silence, every longing, let sincerity guide you, and let your heart find the peace that comes only from turning fully to Allah. There is a profound wisdom in the moments when the world is quiet, when the heart is uncluttered, and when the soul can turn fully to Allah. These moments are not random, they are divine opportunities, windows of connection that Allah has placed within the rhythm of our lives. Before dawn, in the stillness of solitude, in times of need or hardship, the heart naturally softens, becoming receptive to the presence of the Almighty. The silence, the calm, and the introspection of these times allow our prayers to rise unimpeded, carrying with them sincerity, hope, and the weight of the heart's deepest desires. In these sacred periods, the soul finds a closeness to Allah, that cannot be replicated in busyness, distraction, or noise. Before dawn, there is a purity in the air that speaks to the soul. The world is at rest, the mind is less burdened by daily concerns, and the heart is awake in a way that makes it attentive and humble. The Quran tells us that the hours of the night are blessed, that those who rise to pray in the quiet darkness are enveloped in mercy, and that Allah's attention is particularly near to those who seek Him sincerely in solitude. In these early hours, the world's distractions fade, and the heart can speak freely, unafraid and unhurried. It is in these moments that the whispers of dua carry the loudest weight in the heavens, where even the most private longings are heard and cherished. Solitude, too, is a divine gift. In the company of silence, the heart becomes honest, unmasked, and fully aware of its dependence on Allah. There is no need for performance or pretense. Every sigh, every tear, every whispered word reaches the Creator with clarity. Solitude strips away the layers we hide behind in public, revealing the raw, vulnerable self. This is the self that Allah loves to hear from, the self that approaches Him without fear, without agenda, and with complete trust. When we pray in solitude, we allow our hearts to flow freely, without interruption, without hesitation, and without distraction. It is in this state that the power of dua is most profound, for sincerity is undiluted, and attention is fully devoted to the one who knows us best. Times of need, too, are sacred. When life weighs heavily upon us, when challenges test our patience and our strength, our hearts naturally turn to Allah. In these moments, prayer is not a ritual, it is a lifeline. The urgency of need sharpens our focus, deepens our sincerity, and draws us closer to the mercy and guidance of the Almighty. Allah tells us in the Quran that He is near, that He responds to the call of the desperate, and that He does not burden a soul beyond its capacity. In our need, we are reminded of our reliance, and our hearts find clarity in the recognition that only He can provide what is truly best for us. Every plea, every expression of hope and trust becomes a bridge between despair and divine grace. The best moments to pray are not merely about convenience or habit. They are about receptivity and alignment with Allah's wisdom. Our lives are filled with noise, distraction, and responsibilities, but when we consciously choose these divine opportunities, we create a space for our hearts to meet the divine. We open ourselves to a presence that is constant, compassionate, and attentive. Every whispered dua, spoken in the quiet of early morning or in the sanctuary of solitude, carries with it not only our desires but our trust, our hope, and our surrender. It is in these moments that the power of prayer transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, elevating our hearts and connecting us to the mercy that flows from Allah without measure. There is also a rhythm to these moments that teaches patience and persistence. Prayer at the right times is not about instant gratification. It is about aligning the heart with divine timing. Just as the dawn comes after the night, as the sun rises in its ordained time, so too do the blessings of Allah arrive at the moment most suitable for our growth and fulfillment. The effort of waking before dawn, of seeking solitude, of turning in earnest during hardship, is itself a reflection of faith and trust. Each action reinforces our reliance on Allah, and each moment of sincere turning becomes a training ground for spiritual resilience. We learn that the heart that prays consistently, that seizes these divine opportunities, is a heart that cultivates hope, patience, and unwavering trust. The presence of Allah in these moments can also transform our perception of life itself. The quiet before dawn, the stillness of solitude, and the intensity of need create a space for reflection, clarity, and understanding. Our hearts begin to notice the subtle signs of Allah's mercy in our lives, to appreciate the blessings often overlooked, and to recognize that even challenges carry guidance and hidden gifts. Prayer becomes not only a means of asking but a lens through which we can see the world with greater wisdom, gratitude, and perspective. Each divine opportunity, when seized, strengthens our connection, refines our character, and nurtures the soul. When we approach these moments with awareness, every dua gains depth and meaning. It is no longer a routine utterance, but a sacred dialogue, a communion with the one who knows the heart completely. In the quiet of dawn, we can speak freely, expressing hopes and fears with clarity. In solitude, our hearts are naked before Allah, and this honesty carries a weight far beyond words. In times of need, every supplication becomes charged with urgency and humility, demonstrating our complete dependence and sincere trust. The power of these moments lies not in what we say, but in how we say it, with conviction, presence, and heartfelt submission. Moreover, these divine opportunities teach us consistency and mindfulness. By making it a practice to seek Allah in these times, we cultivate a lifestyle of connection rather than a sporadic act. We learn to recognize that Allah's presence is always near, that His mercy is accessible, and that every moment has the potential to be transformed by sincere prayer. As our awareness deepens, the act of dua becomes inseparable from our consciousness, guiding our thoughts, our actions, and our understanding of life itself. The heart grows attuned to the rhythm of divine opportunity, finding balance, strength, and serenity even amidst life's trials. Ultimately, recognizing the best moments to pray is an act of wisdom and devotion. It reflects our desire to approach Allah in the manner He loves most, with sincerity, focus, and trust. It is a practice that nurtures the soul, strengthens faith, and illuminates the path of the believer. Each opportunity, whether before dawn, in solitude, or during hardship, is a chance to deepen our connection, to align our hearts with divine will, and to experience the transformative power of sincere, intentional prayer. And so, let every moment of stillness, every quiet hour, and every challenge become an invitation. Turn to Allah with hope, conviction, and awareness, and let these divine opportunities guide your heart to His mercy, presence, and endless grace. Patience is one of the most profound virtues in Islam, a quality that strengthens the heart and aligns the soul with the will of Allah. It is not merely the ability to wait, it is the endurance of trials, the resilience in the face of hardship, and the trust that every delay carries purpose. Every trial that touches our lives is a test, every obstacle a lesson, and every moment of waiting a sacred opportunity for growth. The Quran reminds us that Allah is with those who are patient, that He does not burden a soul beyond its capacity, and that every act of patience is rewarded in ways beyond human comprehension. Patience, then, is not weakness. It is a silent, steadfast power that allows the believer to navigate life's challenges with faith, hope, and serenity, trusting that Allah's wisdom encompasses what the heart cannot yet see. Life is filled with moments of difficulty, moments when the heart aches, and moments when the soul questions the path ahead. In such times, impatience can lead to despair, frustration, and a sense of futility. Yet, the believer who chooses patience recognizes that every delay, every setback, and every test is part of a divine orchestration designed to refine the heart. Each trial is a tool that draws us closer to Allah, molding our character, deepening our faith, and opening doors to mercy and blessings that we may not have anticipated. The very act of enduring with patience becomes a form of worship, a declaration that the heart is aligned with divine wisdom. Even when the world appears uncertain or challenging, Patience is most powerful when paired with trust in Allah's plan. It is the understanding that what we desire may not always align with what is best for us, and that the timing of fulfillment lies in the hands of the Almighty. The Quran emphasizes that those who endure patiently will be rewarded beyond measure, that the hardships of this world are temporary, and that the blessings awaiting the patient soul are eternal. Every moment of waiting, every instance of restraint is an opportunity for growth, an invitation to deepen reliance on Allah, and a path to understanding that the journey itself carries lessons far more valuable than the outcome alone. Consider the lives of the prophets who exemplified the power of patience. Prophet Ayub endured immense suffering, losing wealth, health, and family, yet he remained steadfast in faith, never turning away from Allah. His patience was not passive, it was active, rooted in hope, trust, and submission. And when the time was right, Allah restored to him more than he had lost, elevating his example as a beacon of divine mercy and the transformative power of patience. Prophet Yusuf faced betrayal, imprisonment, and years of separation from what he loved, yet he never allowed his heart to waver in trust and patience. His eventual triumph demonstrated that patience is not only a shield against despair, but a key that unlocks doors of divine provision, guidance, and destiny. These stories teach us that patience is both a test and a tool, a force that strengthens the believer and draws Allah's mercy in ways that are often invisible at first, but become clear with time. Patience also transforms our perspective. When the heart learns to endure with trust, life's challenges are no longer merely burdens, they become lessons, opportunities, and moments of divine teaching. Every trial that tests our patience refines our understanding, softens the heart, and nurtures empathy, humility, and gratitude. We begin to see that delays are not denials, that obstacles are not punishments, and that hardships are not meaningless. They are instruments of divine wisdom, shaping our character and preparing us for the blessings that Allah has written for us. The patient heart learns to recognize the hidden beauty in every circumstance, the subtle guidance in every struggle, and the unseen mercy in every moment of waiting. The practice of patience requires conscious effort. It demands that we resist the urge to complain, to doubt, or to seek shortcuts outside the will of Allah. It is an active surrender, a choice to remain steadfast even when the heart feels weak and the world seems unyielding. Patience is strengthened through prayer, reflection, and remembrance of Allah, creating a sanctuary within the heart where resilience and trust reside. Each act of patience becomes a reinforcement of faith, a demonstration that the heart is committed to divine guidance, and a reminder that Allah's wisdom is far beyond human comprehension. The believer learns that to endure with patience is to participate in the unfolding of destiny itself, aligning personal will with the perfect timing and provision of the Almighty. Patience also nurtures hope. Even in the darkest nights, when answers seem distant, and when the heart longs for relief, the patient believer remains hopeful, knowing that every difficulty carries a hidden blessing. The Quran reminds us that indeed, after hardship comes ease, and that the mercy of Allah is vast and encompassing. Patience opens the heart to see these blessings, to recognize them when they arrive, and to appreciate the journey that led to them. It is not simply waiting for the storm to pass. It is growing, learning, and trusting in the knowledge that Allah's plan is complete, precise, and infinitely compassionate. Moreover, patience transforms action. It does not mean inaction or resignation. It is not a passive acceptance of circumstance. Rather, Patience is a disciplined engagement with life, a steadfast pursuit of good while trusting in Allah's timing. The patient heart continues to strive to make dua, to seek guidance, and to act with integrity, knowing that the fruits of effort are intertwined with divine will. This combination of effort and patience becomes a powerful force, opening doors, creating opportunities, and attracting blessings that are beyond what we could imagine. The strength of patience lies in this balance, acting with intention while surrendering the outcome to Allah. The power of patience is also reflected in its ability to cultivate gratitude. When the believer endures trials with faith, the eventual relief, guidance, or success is received with humility and appreciation. Every answered prayer, every alleviation of hardship, and every fulfilled desire becomes a reminder of Allah's mercy, His wisdom, and His infinite love. The patient heart recognizes that the journey, with all its challenges, is itself a source of blessing, shaping character, deepening faith, and drawing the believer ever closer to the one who knows, provides, and sustains. Ultimately, patience in Islam is a strength that transforms the soul, nurtures faith, and unlocks divine mercy. It teaches the heart to endure, the spirit to trust, and the mind to see beyond immediate circumstances. Every trial becomes an opportunity, every delay a lesson, and every hardship a path to greater closeness to Allah. The one who embraces patience discovers that life's challenges are not obstacles to fulfillment, but instruments of divine guidance, shaping destiny in ways that only Allah fully understands. And so, embrace patience in every moment of trial, every delay, and every challenge. Let it strengthen your heart, elevate your faith, and open doors of mercy you never imagined, knowing that Allah's timing and wisdom are perfect, and His rewards are boundless. Dua is not merely the repetition of words, it is the language of the heart, the expression of the soul, and the sincere reaching out to Allah with every fiber of our being. We often approach prayer mechanically, thinking that the mere utterance of phrases will suffice. But the true power of dua lies in emotional connection. When the heart is fully engaged, when longing, humility, and trust pour through every beat and every tear, our words carry a depth that transcends speech. Allah does not measure dua by its volume or eloquence, but by the sincerity and intensity with which it is offered. Every emotion felt in truth becomes a messenger to Him, a signal of the soul's complete reliance, and an acknowledgement of His infinite wisdom and mercy. There is a sacred intimacy in emotional connection. When the heart speaks, it speaks without filter, without hesitation, without performance. It lays bare its desires, its fears, its regrets, and its hopes. This is the essence of powerful dua, the heart reaching beyond the lips, stretching toward the Creator with a vulnerability that only Allah truly sees. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that the most profound du'as are those whispered with sincerity, those that emerge from the depths of a believer's longing, those that reflect the awareness of one's dependence on Allah. In this emotional sincerity, there is a richness, a gravity, and a resonance that cannot be replicated by rote recitation alone. Feelings such as humility are central to connecting emotionally. When we approach Allah, we must recognize our own limitations, our reliance on His mercy, and the recognition that every blessing, every guidance, and every moment of relief is granted by Him alone. Humility allows the heart to shed pride and pretense, opening space for true communion. In humility, we acknowledge that we are small, our understanding limited, and our desires subject to His will. It is this state that transforms dua from a list of requests into an intimate dialogue, one in which the heart converses openly with the most merciful, confident that it is fully seen and fully heard. Longing is another essential dimension. When the soul aches for relief, for guidance, or for a fulfillment that only Allah can provide, the intensity of that longing amplifies the dua. Tears, silent or spoken, carry weight far beyond words. They are physical expressions of the heart's depth. Every sigh, every trembling breath, every pulse of hope resonates with meaning. When the believer allows longing to permeate prayer, dua becomes not just a request, but a surrender of self, an offering of vulnerability, and a trust that Allah will respond with His perfect wisdom. Longing transforms prayer into a sacred act of intimacy, where the soul reaches out without reservation, and the heart opens fully to receive the presence and mercy of the divine. Trust intertwines with humility and longing to complete the emotional spectrum of dua. To truly connect emotionally is to believe with certainty that Allah hears, that He understands, and that He responds in ways that are best for us. Even when the answer differs from what we envisioned, even when outcomes are delayed, trust allows the heart to remain steadfast. It reinforces the awareness that Allah's wisdom surpasses human understanding and that His timing is flawless. Trust imbues dua with a resilience that prevents despair, strengthens hope, and sustains the believer through the most challenging circumstances. It is the knowledge that our hearts, when sincere, never speak in vain, for the most merciful listens to every beat, every tear, and every silent plea. Connecting emotionally also demands presence of mind. It requires that we step away from distraction, silence the noise of the world, and allow the heart to speak fully. When we are fully present in prayer, aware of every word and feeling, every moment of dua becomes powerful. The energy of intention, the depth of feeling, and the honesty of the soul converge, creating a channel of divine receptivity. Allah, who knows the hidden thoughts and the unspoken emotions, responds to this presence, acknowledging the completeness of the heart's communication. It is this awareness that elevates the act of dua from formality to profound spiritual engagement. The emotional dimension of dua also fosters reflection and clarity. When the heart is fully engaged, it naturally contemplates the nature of one's desires, fears, and dependence. We begin to recognize which longings are grounded in truth, which requests are shaped by ego, and which hopes align with divine wisdom. This process refines the soul, helping the believer distinguish between fleeting wants and enduring needs. In the emotional connection, the act of prayer becomes a mirror for the heart, revealing truths about the self, while simultaneously offering a space to seek guidance, relief, and strength from Allah. Moreover, emotional engagement in dua strengthens resilience. Life will inevitably bring trials, setbacks, and moments of uncertainty. The heart that has learned to pour itself fully into sincere, emotionally rich prayer becomes stronger, anchored by the knowledge that it is heard and supported by Allah. Each tear, each heartbeat, and each whisper of longing builds a spiritual endurance that sustains the believer through adversity. The act of emotional connection in prayer is a training of the soul, preparing it to face life's challenges with courage, hope, and unwavering trust. There is also a beauty in vulnerability. Many fear that exposing the depths of the heart in prayer is a sign of weakness, but in Islam, it is a profound strength. A heart that reaches out emotionally is demonstrating absolute faith in Allah's mercy, acknowledging dependence without shame, and embracing humility without fear. Vulnerability allows the soul to be fully present, fully heard, and fully open to the transformative power of divine guidance. It is in this transparency that true spiritual connection thrives, creating a sanctuary within the heart where mercy, love, and wisdom flow freely. Emotionally connected dua is not restricted to moments of despair or longing. It extends to gratitude, reflection, and devotion. When the heart expresses thanks with feeling, when it rejoices in blessings with sincerity, when it reflects on Allah's mercy with awe, every emotion deepens the relationship between the soul and its Creator. This emotional engagement transforms ordinary prayer into a living dialogue, where every beat of the heart, every tear, and every breath becomes part of a sacred conversation. It is a recognition that connection is more than words. It is the alignment of intention, feeling, and presence, fully immersed in the love and awareness of Allah. Ultimately, to connect emotionally in dua is to recognize that prayer is an intimate, dynamic, and living relationship. Words are important, but they are only vessels. The heart gives them life. When longing, humility, and trust flow freely, when the soul is present and engaged, every whispered plea becomes powerful, every silent sigh carries meaning, and every tear becomes a testament to sincerity. This connection transforms prayer into a conduit of divine mercy, guidance, and comfort, bridging the human and the divine in a space of sacred closeness. And so, let your heart speak in every prayer. Let every tear, every sigh, and every beat carry your sincerity. Feel the depth of your longing, embrace humility, and place your trust fully in Allah, knowing that emotional connection in dua transforms not only the prayer itself, but the soul that dares to reach with honesty and devotion. Hope in Allah's mercy is the anchor of the believer's soul. In life, there will be moments when the path seems dark, when challenges feel insurmountable, and when despair whispers that relief may never come. It is in these moments that the heart must remember the boundless mercy of Allah, a mercy so vast that it encompasses every mistake, every lapse, every failure, and every fear. No matter how heavy the burden or how deep the sorrow, His mercy is not distant. It is near, ready to envelop those who turn to Him with sincerity, trust, and persistence. To lose hope is to misunderstand the infinite compassion of the Creator, for He alone knows what is best, and His mercy reaches farther than the human mind can comprehend. Every trial is temporary, every setback a test, and every dark moment an opportunity to witness the depth of Allah's care. The Quran reassures us repeatedly that Allah is most forgiving, most compassionate, and most aware of our struggles. Even when we stumble, even when we fall, His mercy is greater than our shortcomings. The believer learns that hope is not a passive wish but an active stance, a conscious decision to trust in the perfect timing and wisdom of the Almighty. Maintaining hope does not erase difficulty, but it illuminates the heart, enabling the soul to endure with strength, patience, and faith. It is the knowledge that no matter how bleak the present seems, the mercy of Allah is waiting to guide, to heal, and to transform. The heart that never loses hope understands the importance of persistence in dua. Each prayer, each plea, each whispered longing is a reaffirmation of trust in Allah's mercy. Even if the answer is delayed, even if the form of relief is different from what we imagined, hope ensures that the believer does not turn away. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized that Allah responds to His servants in ways that are most beneficial, often beyond human perception. When the heart prays with hope, it recognizes that mercy may arrive in forms we do not expect, through patience, through guidance, through new opportunities, or through the lessons embedded in difficulty. This understanding deepens faith, strengthens resilience, and nurtures a trust that does not waver even when life challenges us. Hope is also cultivated through reflection on Allah's past mercies. By remembering the countless times we have been guided, protected, or forgiven, the heart is reminded of the constancy of divine care. Life's challenges may obscure our perception, but the memory of past relief and answered prayers serves as a beacon of assurance. Each mercy previously granted is proof that Allah is always near, always attentive, and always responsive to the needs of the sincere heart. This reflection strengthens the soul, reminding the believer that darkness is never permanent and that his light will always follow. It is natural for despair to attempt to enter the heart, especially during prolonged trials. Yet Islam teaches that hope is a form of strength, a weapon against the whispers of doubt, and a bridge to divine support. The believer resists despair not through force of will alone, but through remembrance, prayer, and reliance on the mercy of Allah. Each act of hope becomes an act of faith, a reaffirmation that the heart trusts the unseen, that it acknowledges divine wisdom, and that it remains open to guidance. Hope and mercy are intertwined. As the believer maintains hope, the awareness of Allah's mercy grows, and as awareness of mercy deepens, hope strengthens further, creating a cycle of spiritual resilience and comfort. Never losing hope also encourages humility. We recognize that human limitations prevent us from fully understanding the unfolding of events, the timing of blessings, and the purpose behind trials. This humility allows the heart to surrender fully to Allah, trusting that His mercy is sufficient, His wisdom unparalleled, and His plan flawless. We begin to see that no misstep, no error, and no failure removes us from His care. Instead, each return to Him, each sincere plea, and each patient act in hope draws the believer closer to the mercy that encompasses all things. Humility in hope prevents arrogance, fosters reliance, and nurtures an enduring connection with Allah. The power of hope also transforms perception. The heart that clings to the mercy of Allah sees possibilities where others see impossibility, blessings where others see loss, and light where others see darkness. This perspective is not wishful thinking. It is grounded in certainty that Allah's mercy is infinite, that His support is unending, and that His guidance will reach the sincere at the right time. Life's trials are no longer merely obstacles, but opportunities for mercy to manifest, for lessons to be learned, and for the soul to grow in awareness, strength, and reliance on the Almighty. Furthermore, hope motivates action aligned with faith. The believer does not sit idly in despair, but continues to seek, to strive, and to pray, trusting that every effort made in sincerity is seen and valued by Allah. This act of hope transforms the soul, creating a harmony between trust, perseverance, and submission. Each step, each prayer, and each moment of patience becomes infused with the certainty of mercy, strengthening the connection between heart and Creator. Through hope, the believer experiences guidance that reshapes life, transforms challenges, and opens doors that human imagination could never conceive. Hope in Allah's mercy also nurtures compassion and empathy. When the heart experiences mercy personally, it becomes capable of extending understanding and kindness to others. The believer who knows the relief of divine care becomes a source of hope for those around them, spreading encouragement, patience, and faith. Mercy flows outward, touching communities, relationships, and hearts beyond the individual. This dynamic shows that hope is not only transformative internally, but also externally, creating ripples of divine influence through acts of faith and kindness. Finally, hope allows the heart to remain steadfast in gratitude. Even amidst difficulty, the believer maintains awareness of Allah's care, recognizes blessings that endure, and trusts that every trial has purpose. Gratitude and hope coexist. Gratitude reminds the soul of past mercies, while hope assures it of future relief. Together, they form a foundation of unwavering faith, a heart anchored in mercy, and a soul aligned with divine guidance. The believer learns that as long as hope remains alive, mercy is never far, guidance is never denied, and transformation is always possible. And so, hold on to hope in every prayer, every trial, and every uncertainty. Trust in Allah's endless mercy, continue to seek Him sincerely, and let your heart remain steadfast, knowing that no darkness is permanent, no delay is final, and His guidance will illuminate your path in ways beyond imagination. May Allah bless you abundantly for taking this time to strengthen your heart and your faith. Remember to trust Him, pray sincerely, seize the divine moments, practice patience, connect deeply in your dua, and never lose hope in His mercy. Keep your heart open, your faith steadfast, and let His guidance illuminate every step of your life. Don't forget to share this message with someone who needs inspiration today. May every prayer you make reach Him with sincerity, and may your life be filled with His blessings and mercy. Jazak Allah Hukar for watching, and until next time, keep your heart close to Allah, your trust unwavering, and your hope alive.